first team orange selection from Cleveland, Ari Lee. A second team orange selection from Fayetteville Tech, Lori Kirkland. A second team orange selection from Cleveland, Jasmine Twitty.
From Cape Fear Community College, it's the Region 10 women's basketball quarterfinals, and our final quarterfinal of the day features the 3-seed Cleveland Yetis at 22-5 and 16-4 in the region, taking on the 6-seed Fayetteville Tech Trojans, who are 12-12 and 7-12 in Region 10. Hi again, everybody. Chris Sheeman. Glad to be with you for our final quarterfinal. We got to fill out the semifinal bracket. Winner of this game will play Bryan and Stratton. Let's meet the starting lineups. First for Peace Shepherd and the Trojans. It's number 1, Nyla Mitchell. Number 2 is Elia Barker. Number 5, Amori Kirkland. Number 20, Kiera Duncan. And number 21, Kiana Bryant. And now for Scooter Lawrence and the Cleveland Yetis, it's number 0, Carrie Lee. Number 10 is Sydney Inesti. Number 20 is Zayamara Estella. Number 22, Jonah Castilla. And number 24 is Jasmine Twitty. So the Yetis and Trojans in our final quarterfinal game. Cleveland, only losses in Region 10 play came against Bryan and Stratton and Cape Fear. That means they beat the Trojans twice this year, although the first one was close, 81 to 78. And then 68 to 59, the Yetis won the second meeting. Both of those games, the home and home was played back-to-back. It was January 26th and January 31st. So these two teams played a back-to-back. The Yetis got them both times. And this is a hot Cleveland team. You want to be playing your best basketball this time of the year? Well, the Yetis are. They have won 10 straight games. They came coming off back-to-back wins over D1 Denmark and 6 of the last 10 wins by double digits. So Fayetteville Tech and the Yetis ready to tip it up as it's Inesti, and she's going to win the tip for her team. Twitty went into the backcourt and had to fight for it, but did win the opening tip. So we're underway. Cleveland, 70 points per ball game. Trojans at 67 a game. And we do expect it to be close, but the Yetis, as I mentioned, hot right now. Jonah Castillo down low to Inesti. Out to Estella for 3, in and out. Tip for the rebound, and here come the Trojans. Fayetteville Tech has won 3 of 4 as well, entering the quarterfinals. They beat Brunswick in the first round, 71-66. Prior to that, they had lost 6 of 7, so they're also hot. Duncan flat-footed, can't score. Tip for the rebound. Duncan cleans it up. Duncan scoring the first basket of the game, putting the Trojans up 2-0. Chris Shima, glad to be with you from the home studio in Cleveland, Ohio. Wherever you're watching from, we appreciate it. Estella on the wing, goes back to Lee. Lee top of the key with 10 to shoot. Swings it back, Estella for 3. Too strong. Inesti with the rebound, and then it's wrestled away, and she commits a frustration foul. Good positioning there. Kiana Bryant, who averages 7.6 rebounds a game. This is the top rebounding team in Region 10, Fayetteville Tech. Although no players rank in the top 10 in rebounds per game in the region. 6 players average 6 rebounds a game or better. They're also second to Cleveland in blocks per game, so we're not going to see a lot at the rim today, most likely. Here's Kirkland trying to attack. Leaves it again for Duncan. It swung back over to Kirkland. Back to Duncan from the free throw line. Can't get it to rim in. Lee had it for a moment. Duncan takes it away. Extra chance opportunity now for the Trojans, and we have a foul on the Yetis. So 4 losses, 2 to Cape Fear, 2 to Bryan and Stratton. The other loss was to Mississippi State. I think I said that right for Cleveland this year. Trojans have been up and down right now. They come into the game up. Kirkland for 3. Can't get it to go. Another offensive rebound by Bryant, but she's stripped. So here come the Yetis looking to get on the board. It's Lee, hop step to the bucket. Tough angle, couldn't get the rebound. Duncan the board. Kirkland into the forecourt. Kirkland gets a screen. Out to Barker. Duncan at the half circle. Now Kirkland top of the key. Kirkland 28% from 3. Rims in the triple. And it's a 5-0 start for Fayetteville Tech. Twitty on the left wing. Over to Lee in the corner. Top of the key, Castillo, the rainbow triple, rims in. So Cleveland's on the board. Castillo, 22% from 3. Not a great three-point shooter, but looking good with her form on that one. Handoff by Mitchell out to Kirkland. Kirkland looking for some help. Duncan on the wing with 5 to shoot. They got to make something happen. Kirkland tries for another triple. Can't get it to go. And it's out of bounds off the Trojans on the rebound. Yetis had their best offensive month in February. They come in, as I mentioned, hot from the field. 78 points per game in February. Estella for 3, no good. And that's going off Castillo out of bounds. So that was a season high for Cleveland. They also had a season high in shooting at 43%, from 3 at 32%, assists per game at 19.8, and rebounds a game at 41.6. Once that calendar turns and you're on these neutral courts, when you have an opponent who's familiar with you, those numbers typically come down a little bit, but I say all of that to say both of these teams playing well at the right time of the year. 4 minutes in, and that's going to be a deep look there by Kirkland, who just had to force it with the shot clock winding down, and the Trojans come up empty. Yetis only allowing 58 points per game. Very good defensive team as Lee attacks, gets the bucket and the foul. So Lee ties us and a chance to put her team on top. Carrie Lee, 14.6 points, 6.2 rebounds, 5.5 assists per game. 73% free throw shooter, couldn't get it to go. Estella's got the rebound. And the rainbow shot is good by Castillo. So Cleveland on top for the first time. They have that trap going, forcing almost 17 turnovers a game. But when you're able to break the press, that's how easy the offense can be, as Duncan scores her second basket. And we're tied for the second time here today. Carrie Lee's third in Region 10 in assists per game as she looks for a dime here. The 3 ball was no good, and they call it jump ball. Twitty says, I had it. Carrie Lee also 16th in the country in assists per game. Myasia Sims will come into the game for Fayetteville Tech, first sub for Peace Shepherd. she comes in for Bryant. Scoreless start for Bryant. So again, Trojans able to break the press. We're past the midway point here in the first quarter, all tied at 7 apiece here in our final quarterfinal. Cape Fear winning earlier today, as did Southwest Virginia and Bryan and Stratton. So all the top seeds have survived so far. 3 by Kirkland, too strong, and the rebound chased down by Lee. Swings it to Castillo on the right wing. So Lee and Castillo hot potatoing it. Now Castillo, the midi, no good. Rebound chased down by Duncan, and then she's fouled. It'll be the 3rd foul on the Yetis, and it'll send us to our first timeout. All tied at 7 apiece. Good start to this one here in our final quarterfinal of the day. As you look at the Cleveland bench, what a job that Scooter Lawrence has done with this team. Remember, this is a second-year program, the Yetis, and Cleveland has come into Region 10 pretty hungry. It's a little bit easier at the junior college level to build a program quickly, especially in these days with transfers and whatnot. Here's a steal by the Yetis and a foul. Checking into the game is Grace East, 10.8 points per ball game off the bench, making an immediate impact with her defense. Mackenzie Ross is in, number 3. Twitty remains in. Anesti remains in. And Lee. So that's the 5 for the Yetis. Kirkland... number 2 has come in. No, Barker's still out there for Fayetteville Tech. There's East passing top of the key to Twitty. Left side, it's Lee. Lee wants the 3, can't score. Elia Thomas pulls down that rebound. Kirkland drives in, swings it out. Here's Mitchell for 3, too strong. Nice box out there, and Esty. Grace East will fire a triple off the back rim. Box out there by Sims. And we got a foul on the rebound. That is going to be the 4th foul on Cleveland. White is in now for the Trojans. It's Nalia White. Correction, it went on Fayetteville Tech. I thought on the rebound that the Trojans had position, but apparently not. So Lee will inbound it. Gets it back, fires a triple, and hits it. Lee now has 5 in the game. Cleveland on top by 3. Trojans back on offense. And Kirkland running the point up top. White throws it right side for Mitchell. This is Thomas backing down. Trying to bank it, couldn't. Tipped rebound comes to Anesti. It's Lee into the front court. Lee pull up. Can't get it to go, and that'll be a team rebound back to the Trojans. Fayetteville Tech at 500 after picking up that opening round victory over Brunswick. They won by 5, but they were down double digits in the first half in that game. Came from behind to win it. There's Kirkland in the backcourt against the trap. So far, the Trojans haven't had too much trouble against the press. It's Mitchell in, and Mitchell's pass off the mark, but it was deflected by a Cleveland player. So it'll stay with Fayetteville Tech. Plenty of time on the shot clock for the Trojans here. Inbound goes to Kirkland. Extra pass out to Mitchell. Long on the 3. And East pulls down the rebound. Lee into the front court. Swings it left side, and the 3 is short for Ross. Back in the forecourt, White pushing the tempo. White ball fake, then had it stripped, dove for it, jump ball's called, possession arrow will give it back to the Yetis. Five in the game for Lee, 2 for Castillo for Cleveland. Kirkland and Duncan have all 7 for Fayetteville Tech. East, now it's swung to Lee, over to Twitty. 8 to shoot, Twitty cut off, swings it out, Ross for 3, no good. Rebound controlled by Thomas for the Trojans. There's Kirkland into the front court. Mitchell on the wing. Mitchell is fouled. That's team foul number 4 on the Yetis. So one more puts Fayetteville Tech in the bonus. Trojans have 3 of their own. Alexandria Castillo now will come in, replacing Anesti. Mitchell to inbound it. Kirkland out deep with it. Minute 26 to go. Kirkland with the crossover. The hop step, bucket, and no, wave it off. Offensive foul called away from the ball on the Trojans, who now have 4. Late first quarter, Yetis by 1. 2 ties so far in the game. Here's East from downtown. Rainbow shot, no. Rebound controlled by Mitchell. And Mitchell will bring it into the forecourt. Kirkland on the near side of your screen. Gets a screen, and the 12-footer no good. Lee's got the rebound. Lee looking to run with East. Gets it to East. Bucket and the foul. Grace East puts the Yetis up by 5. And a chance to make it 6 at the line for an old school 3-point try. Grace East on the season, just 47% free throw shooter. She gets that one to go. 48 seconds remaining here in this first quarter. Now it's a steal. Throw ahead to East, and she lays it up and in. So East with a quick 5 as Cleveland turning defense into offense here. Sims is in the game, cut off down low with the shot clock off. She traveled with the basketball, actually. So Yetis are going to get it back here with still plenty of time to work with. Fayetteville Tech has not had a basket in a while. Lee with 5, East with 5, and Castillo with 5. East, another triple. This one short, and that'll do it for the opening quarter. So the Yetis take a 15-7 lead after 10 minutes of play. You're watching the NJCAA Region 10 women's basketball quarterfinals from Cape Fear. We'll be back with the second quarter here in just a moment. Welcome back, everybody. That's me, Chris Sheeman. Happy to be with you from the home studio in Ohio. You and I watching the Region 10 quarterfinals. And this is the 3-seed Yetis of Cleveland Community College over the 6-seed Fayetteville Tech Trojans. 15-7 underway here in this second quarter. Duncan with 4, Kirkland with 3 for Fayetteville Tech. As the runner no good by Mitchell. Mitchell follows her miss, gets tied up. They'll call it jump ball. And the possession arrow will give it to the Yetis. Yetis, Lee East and Jonah Castillo with 5 points each. Cleveland on a 10-game winning streak at 22-5. Just its second year. They move the ball to Lee. First team all-region off on that triple try. Mitchell the rebound. Here's Kirkland into the front court. Trojans got to find something on this end of the floor. They're playing good enough defense to hang around, but they are just not getting nothing against this Yetis defense. I mentioned Cleveland holding its opponents to an average of 58.2 points per game. Second in the region, or actually leading the region in blocks per game at 4.2. Sydney Anesti averaging 2.6 of those 4.2 blocks. They swing it to Twitty. Extra pass out to Lee from downtown. Offensive rebound, put back Estella, no. Kirkland's got the board for the Trojans. And that's going to be a turnover. Barker would have been better off just letting it go out of bounds. Out on the run, Grace East blows the layup. It's a tie-up. Nope, they're going to call a foul. Frustration foul there as Cleveland had an easy one. Trojans are getting some stops. They just can't seem to find any offense. Marcia Bennett will come into the game now for Fayetteville Tech. I think Kirkland thought she was going to get a call there on that shot. It goes out of bounds, and it's off the Trojans. Kirkland is slow to get up over on the left side of your screen, and we're going to get a timeout here. Just underway in this second quarter. We'll check on Kirkland when we get back.
As a Cape Fear grad, you have options. Maybe too many options. Get started at Cape Fear today.
And the Grammy goes to Pecados y Milagros by Lila Downs.
Thank you so much, Mama, for feeding me through my belly button the wisdom and the strength to love through music. Thank you so much. Muchas gracias. Viva Mexico.
Okay, so Kirkland was slow to get up, but she is up under her own power, and that's a good sign if you're a Trojans fan. And so hopefully she'll be able to get right back out there as quick as possible. Chris Shima, glad to be with you. Follow me on social media, by the way. Winning teams get their highlights posted after every game all tournament long. Right now the Yetis leading at 15-7 over Fayetteville Tech. Lee, Alexandria Castillo, Twitty, Grace East, and Estella all out there for the Yetis, who turn the basketball over here. Mitchell into the front court. Left of the lane, Bryant putting the moves on, too strong off the glass. Offensive rebound comes to Thomas. It's trickled out to Mitchell in the corner. That's Duncan, not Thomas, my apologies. Got it out to Bennett, who missed the three. And then it's out of bounds, last touch by the Trojans, as Twitty had position, and then it was deflected on a steal attempt by Fayetteville Tech, who still have not scored yet here in the quarter, and they haven't scored in a long time. Going back to around the midway point of the first quarter, I believe. It's been a long scoring drought. Yeti's about to turn it over again, though, as there's a scrum for the basketball. Possession arrow favors the Trojans. Jonah Castillo and Anesti getting set to check back in for the Yetis, as East and Alexandria will sit down. So the starters are back out there for Scooter Lawrence's team. Into the front court now is Bennett. Top of the key, Bryant for three, no good. Bryant cuts in, and it's ripped away by Twitty, but they say she got her on the arm. No, wait a minute. Now they changed their mind. I thought he was blowing a whistle for a foul, and instead it's going to be Yeti's basketball. I didn't see a jump ball called. I don't see a foul up for Fayetteville Tech, so I don't know if they just called a travel or what. It was not made by the official underneath. Jonah Castillo down low. Sydney trying to get her first bucket. Good post defense there. Bryant with the takeaway. Both of these teams good in the post. Like I said, not a lot of points in the paint today. Turnover here by the Trojans. Nobody has scored here in the second quarter. Sydney Anesti blocked, got it back, and then it's ripped away. What a play there by Bennett. Bennett attacks, and Bennett with the first points of the quarter. What do we have here? I'm not sure what that was. Just an inadvertent whistle, I guess? I don't know. So 6 minutes to go here in this second quarter. It's not been pretty offense, but both teams' defenses have been locked in today. East is back out there. She takes it around the world, blows by one defender, and then forced a bad pass. It's a steal by the Trojans. Banks putting the moves on. So Amari Banks is in the game, gets it down low, then Duncan had her shot blocked. Again, just not much at the rim Jonah Castillo front court with it. Estella. Twitty, defender went for the steal. Swings it out to East for three. A lid on the rim right now for Cleveland. Just 2 points in the quarter from Fayetteville Tech. That is all the offense. Banks directing traffic now. Mitchell cuts in, forced the bad pass. And a tie-up jump ball possession arrow will favor the Trojans. When we come back, 4:56 left to go until halftime. 15-9 in a defensive struggle. It's Cleveland maintaining the lead. How about Catawba Valley? Like, the whole damn team is on the academic team. Nicely done, ladies. 15-9 Cleveland over Fayetteville Tech. Chris Shima, glad to be back with you as it's Yetis basketball out of the timeout. Lee into the forecourt. Again, Cleveland has not scored in this quarter, but they're still up by 6. Go figure. Lee attacking. Lee can't get it to go, but draws contact, and Kari Lee will go to the free throw line. We got any Yetis fans on the YouTube chat today? Is it Kari or Carrie Lee? I would say Carrie. And then Sydney Anesti or Anest? The E silence. Help me out, please. I'll take all the help that I can get. So Lee gets 1 out of 2, and Cleveland has finally put a point on the board here in the second quarter. Again, that trap is on. And Trojans doing a nice job against the press. Now they attack. Too strong off the glass for Mitchell, who is still scoreless. We got a foul called on Cleveland, though, on the rebound, so it's going to stay on this end of the floor. Nyla Mitchell averaging 14.4 points per ball game. Thus far has not scratched. Banks in and out. Oh, it went halfway down and came out. The basketball gods are not smiling on these rims for either one of these teams. It's Lee now in the front court. Lee is guarded by White, who's back out there. Estella throws it off the glass. High arcing shot goes down. That's her first bucket. Cleveland 18-9. Attacking White off the back iron. Anesti with the rebound. Lee pushing. Lee going right past the defense, splitting the defense and scoring. So Lee's up to 8 points. 20-9, Cleveland by 11. How about the defense for the Yetis? They have held Fayetteville Tech under 10 points with 3:24 to go in the quarter. And they turn it over here. Jonah Castillo with the steal. Spinning is Twitty, and yeah, she's going to be called for a travel there. Ball goes back to Cleveland. This 10-game winning streak for the Yetis. Saw some of the best offense of the season for Cleveland. Today they're getting it done on this end of the floor. Look at the hustle from Estella. She's going to be whistled for a foul, but that's the kind of foul you'll live with as Grace East gets set to come back in. So Estella, a bit of foul trouble, will go out likely for the rest of the half. Inbound goes from Bennett to Banks. Banks, 2 players running at her, trying to dribble around trouble. Spacing issue there for Fayetteville Tech. White throws it cross court to Mitchell. Mitchell looking down low, and right in front was Twitty, who's fouled. Second team foul on the Trojans here in the second quarter. Fayetteville Tech came in 67 points per ball game. They have 9. I cannot remember this low scoring of a half. At least in the first half. Lee attacks. Lee to the bucket. No, but she's fouled, and a chance for her to get into double figures now. Lee, 73%. First team all-region. I mentioned her numbers. 3rd in the region in assists per game and 16th nationally. Her 138 total assists coming into play is 13th in the NJCAA. Also, 8th in the region in points per game at 14.6. She's got 9 now here. And this looks like a football score, 21-9. Make it 22 as Lee now first player in the game in double figures. Here's Thomas. Bennett has the lone bucket of the quarter for Fayetteville Tech. Gives it up to Banks. Banks takes it left side. Runner is good. 22-11 Cleveland. 2:06 to go in the half. So we're inside 2 minutes to play until halftime. It's Lee over to East, right back to Lee. Bounce pass to Twitty, toss to East in the corner. The 3 is good. East now with 8 points, and it's all Cleveland now, 25-11. Banks takes it to the corner. Her pass intercepted. Another steal for the Yetis. Twitty to the bucket. Twitty coast to coast. Her first points. This Yetis team took a minute to wake them up, but this is a team locked in at the right time of the year. Banks puts on the moves and gets the bucket to go. Banks now with 4. Duncan with 4. Kirkland with 3. For Fayetteville Tech, Bennett also has 2. As we're inside a minute to go until halftime for Cleveland, Lee has 10. East now with 8. Jonah Castillo with 5. And as that pass, good hustle there by White to deflect it out of bounds. Estella with 2 and Twitty with 2. That's the scoring for the Yetis. Lee gets it back from Castillo. There's Twitty on the wing. Castillo in the corner. Drives baseline. Cut off. Finds Twitty for 3. No good. East hustles. Saves it. Nicely done by Grace East. The turnaround. Twitty too strong. Anesti with the rebound. Her put back. Yes, and the foul. First bucket of the game for Sydney and a chance for an old school 3-point play. Sydney Anesti, top blocker in Region 10 at 2.6 per game, 8th nationally. Second in the region in rebounds per game at 11.1. Good offensive rebounder at 3.8 per game. So we've seen that on display. 3 points now for her. She's tied for 14th nationally in rebounds per game. Paige Niehammer, the only other player in Region 10 better on the boards. Down low, the bucket no good. White. White got hit on the way to the bucket, got hit on the rebound, and she finally had enough as she twirled out of bounds. It'll be the 4th team foul on Cleveland, and she'll go to the free throw line. Nalia White, 54% free throw shooter. Good on the first one. And the second is going out of bounds. So Cleveland will have 10.5 to work with here. Get a last shot and try once again to improve on this 16-point lead. Lee will let it roll, giving her a little extra time to work with. Swings it out. Castillo left wide open in the zone and buries another one. 8 points for Castillo, 33-14 at the half. It's all Yetis. 20 minutes in the books, and the 3 seed is rolling, playing terrific defense. And it's Cleveland 33, Fayetteville Tech 14. We'll take the halftime break. We will step aside. We'll come back in about 15 minutes and give you all the second half action. So don't go too far.
When I was 4, my dad had a bad accident that resulted in him needing 24-hour care. Through helping my grandma clean his incision sites and bring him food and water and just keep him company, I found that I really have a passion for caring for others when they need it the most. I knew when I wanted to go back to nursing school that I wanted a program that had such a strong reputation, and I knew that was going to be Cape Fear. There is a shortage of healthcare workers, and a big hurdle I know I personally faced was funding. I want to get out there and I want to work and help, but it's hard when you feel like it's impossible, with wondering how am I going to make ends meet, if I can really do this financially. I was made aware of the scholarships from the New Hanover Community Endowment at orientation, so I went home that day and applied for every single scholarship that I was eligible for. Having the generosity of the New Hanover Community Endowment really makes healthcare education accessible and allowed me to fully commit to going back to school. When you are states away from your family and you're supporting yourself, to then suddenly have this community supporting you, it means the world. I'm looking forward to getting to work at the hospital here and serve this community and being able to pay back what's been given to me. I owe so much to Cape Fear, and I owe so much to this endowment for helping me pursue what's been a lifelong dream of mine.
Welcome back, everybody. Our final quarterfinal of the afternoon, and it's all Yetis right now. Cleveland Community College, 33-14, the 3 seed over the 6 seed Fayetteville Tech Trojans. Hi again, everybody. Chris Shima, glad to be back with you. Final of 4 games for you here today. Semifinals will be tomorrow at 2 and 4. Cape Fear and Southwest Virginia playing at 2 p.m. tomorrow, and then 20 minutes after that game is over, we'll have Bryan and Stratton taking on the winner of this game. First half scoring for Fayetteville Tech, 4 apiece for Duncan and Banks, 3 for Kirkland, 2 for Bennett, 1 for White. For Cleveland, 1 player in double figures. It's Carrie Lee with 10 points. Castillo and East have 8 points apiece. 3 for Anesti, 2 for Estella, and 2 for Twitty. So that's the scoring. A relatively low scoring first half by Cleveland standards. They usually average about 70 a game, so they're not too far off that pace. But they really brought the defensive intensity. I'd be curious, and we're not going to get a box score after this one most likely, but I'd be curious to know how many steals Cleveland had in that first half. Speaking of steals, here's Mitchell, and that's Mitchell's first bucket. So Fayetteville Tech, if they want to come back and win this, they got to get her going. Nyla Mitchell, third leading scorer on the team with just her first bucket. Kirkland only has 3. She leads the team with 15 a game, and Banks with 4. She averages 14 normally. Here's Estella, corner 3. Bucket is good, and the lead grows to 20 for Cleveland. So second half scoring underway for the Yetis as Mitchell's 2 strong ball tipped Estella with another rebound. Throw ahead to Lee, 3-on-3 if she wants the numbers. Here's an SD turnaround, can't get it to rim in. Rebound controlled by Banks. So Banks starting the second half, and that 3 is off the mark. Here's Lee chasing it down, now 3-on-2 for Cleveland. Lee takes it herself, puts it up and in. A dozen now for Lee. Cleveland by 22. Banks, the turnaround by Bryant is no good. Lee out to Castillo, extra pass, open look Estella, this time an air ball. Rebound to Bryant, throw ahead to Banks, and Banks is fouled. So both teams with the team foul, just about 2.5 minutes into this second half. Winner to the semifinals, and the loser is done for the year as East comes back in and Estella goes out with her 5 points. Yetis have won 10 straight games. Fayetteville Tech has won 3 of 4, including that opening round victory over Brunswick where they came from double digits down. This is a little bit of a different animal, though. That's a carry there by Banks. No, they call a foul on Grace East, who wanted the carry as well. I think the carry might have happened because of the contact, is what the official was saying. Either way, it doesn't matter what I think. It's the second team foul. As Banks has it top of the key, pull up at the half circle, can't get it to go, and that'll be a team rebound for the Yetis. Lee into the forecourt. You know, I was quiet. I was quiet on that possession. It didn't end up with a bucket, but I was watching the movement that the Yetis were doing offensively. I mean, everybody's moving without the basketball. Read an article about how the Memphis Grizzlies have adopted this like a D3 motion offense and how it's led to one of the best offensive efficiencies in the NBA. I'm telling you, if you work without the basketball and you play on an unselfish team, you know, your teammates are going to find you, and it just builds team chemistry. They come up with yet another turnover. Here's East turning on the Jets. Pass was deflected. Good job coming from behind there. I believe that was Bryant for the Trojans. Duncan swings it out to Banks. Banks stripped. And Fayetteville Tech will have 11 on the shot clock. East is out now as Ross comes in. Scoreless first half for her. Mitchell gets it into Bryant. Back out to Mitchell. Steps inside the arc and buries the jumper. So Mitchell with 4 in the quarter. Lee front court to Ross on the right wing. This possession a little more stagnant with Lee doing the bulk of the work, and the shot clock now down to 9. Gets a screen, pull up at the free throw line, and she gets bailed out with a foul. So Carrie Lee going to go to the free throw line for 2. Game's leading scorer with a dozen. Second team foul on the Trojans. Sims is back in the game for Fayetteville Tech. And Lee no good on the first free throw try. Both teams went through a significant scoring drought in the second quarter. Cleveland caught fire late in that first half. Their biggest lead has been 22. Right now it's out to 21 again. Banks is fouled. So the Yetis are racking up the fouls here in this third quarter. Banks has 4 points. Extra pass goes to Mitchell in the corner. Now back to Banks. 9 to shoot for the Trojans. Once again up against the clock. Banks will fire a 3. That's an air ball out of bounds. And the Yetis get another stop. This defensive performance today by Cleveland. They have really put on a show. Lee walks it slowly into the forecourt. Barker on her. Just straight up defense for the Trojans as Twitty can't get the runner. Banks the board. Oh, Banks double dribbled. Turnover gives it back to Cleveland when we come back. 4:48 to go here in quarter number 3, and it's all Yetis here in our final quarterfinal game. So that's a QR code there on your screen. Karen's doing the photography in the building. And if you use that QR code, you want to maybe scan it and order some prints, get them framed real nice, maybe some mementos for the players or their families, as Ross was out of bounds there. Don't capture that particular one, but you know what I mean. And you just scan that QR code, we'll have it up for you again. Trojans have gotten some stops here in the quarter, but Cleveland has still built the lead out. It's been as high as 22 here in the third. Right now it's 21, and that pass by Bennett is way off the mark. This is the team, Cleveland, that I was most interested to see. And until about the 5-minute mark in that second quarter, I didn't think much of it, but this is a team right now. If there's going to be an upset tomorrow, I think this would be the team that would do it. Not saying that anything has to do with Bryan and Stratton there. They are the Region 10 champs until told otherwise. But just the way this team is playing right now, assuming they're able to hang on here and make it 11 straight victories, you take on a hot team in March and a hungry team and a well-coached team and a team that's really brought the defense. I mean, Fayetteville Tech has 18 points. Make it 19 as Banks now has 5 points, but like they're under 20 with less than 4 to go in the third. That ball out of bounds and back to Cleveland on the rebound try. Cleveland has put the Trojans in the bonus. But I remember them when they came to Brunswick earlier in the year as Lee makes an absolute beautiful move to the bucket. 15 in the game for her. And I just remember thinking, this is going to be a sleeper team. And if you're doing that tournament this year, remember them. Bennett corner pocket. Can't get the bounce. Fight for the rebound. It's won by the Trojans. Here's Barker swinging it out to Banks for 3. Offensive rebound by Mitchell, and she's called for the foul. Third team foul on the Trojans. So Lee with a game-high 15 has the basketball. Just spinning, just having a time out there. It's Lee again. 17 now. 43-19. And that is an offensive foul. Fourth team foul on the Trojans. White will come back into the game, replacing Barker. Busy day at Cape Fear. This is our final game together, but there's the 2 men's basketball semifinals coming up later from Wilmington. Castillo can't get the bucket to go. Ball back to the Trojans. Fayetteville Tech guys will be in one of those semifinals, I believe. Nice move to the bucket there by White. Finger rolled it in. And an attempt there at forcing the turnover, but we're going to stay right here. With 2:08 to go here in this third quarter. Lee gets around the defense and has another one. 19 in the game for Carrie Lee. Came in 8th in the region in points per game at 14.6. She accounts for a lot of her team's baskets when you factor in her makes, her assists. And that's going to be a turnover again. The Trojans have just turned it over left and right here today. Bryant going to come back in for P. Shepard's team. Kirkland, I mean, this is a good offensive team, Fayetteville Tech. Kirkland came in 5th in the region in points per game. Banks was 8th, and Mitchell was 10th. 3 of the top 10 scorers out on the court. Big triple goes down. That's Estella now with 8. 48-21. And this Cleveland defense has just held all of them in check. As Bryant misses, but she's fouled. So Bryant going to the free throw line. Kiana Bryant, 75% free throw shooter. 7.6 rebounds, 9.1 points per game. Good season for her. Looking for her first points here today. And she's short on the free throw. So Bryant with her first. So those 3 players that I mentioned earlier average 43 of the 67. Let's just go with that number because I got to do the math real quick. Today, they have a combined 12. Nice defense here by the Trojans, forcing a turnover. Throw ahead goes to White. White takes the contact, counted in the foul. She's provided some energy off the bench for this Trojans team here today. And she's got a chance at an old school three-point play. 54% free throw shooter, 5 points today, averaging 6.5 points, 4.6 rebounds a game during the regular season. And she's got 6 now. Ooh, little shove there. Trap is on for the Trojans. Here's Ross getting it down low, another steal. 30 seconds to go here in the quarter. Fayetteville Tech trying to make a little run here. Flip shot by Banks is good. Banks now with 7. And the lead down to 21. And now a turnover again for Cleveland. Got to stay mentally engaged. This Trojans teams come down from double digits before. So last shot time now for Fayetteville Tech. As their offense has started to pick up, courtesy of their defense. Right of the lane, it's Banks, jumper no, fight for the rebound. It's going to be a jump ball with 3/10. And with 3/10, it don't really matter whose ball it is. Let's just inbound it and go to the 4th. So Cleveland will inbound it, and they will take a 21-point lead to the final frame. 48-27. It's the Yetis over the Trojans here in our final quarterfinal. We'll be back to wrap this thing up here in just a moment.
Welcome to the future of education, where knowledge is not just acquired, but experienced, where students become makers, problem solvers, designers, and innovators as they develop the skills that will shape their future. Welcome to CFCC. Welcome to the modern classroom. Explore the limitless possibilities of learning. Shape your future. Learn more today at cfcc.edu.
Where's Napoleon? seconds of clock for boss.
Domino's Perfect Combo includes 2 pizzas, 2 sides, and a 2-liter bottle of Coke. So we were asking real people how much they think all of this costs.
35.
45, 50?
$19.99. I'm about to order that when I get home. It's Domino's Perfect Combo, and it's all just $19.99.
Welcome back, everybody. Cleveland 48, Fayetteville Tech 27, as we're on to the final quarter in our last Region 10 quarterfinal game. Winner of this game will play Bryan and Stratton in our second semifinal tomorrow. The 2 seed advancing earlier as White lost it out of bounds. So 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. tomorrow. Cape Fear and Southwest Virginia will be our first semifinal. And then the championship game on Saturday will be at 1. Winner goes to the national tournament. Started talking about it earlier today. It'll be interesting if it is Bryan and Stratton and Cape Fear in the championship game. I got to think both of those teams get into the national tournament. They're both top 20. If one of those teams loses in the semifinals tomorrow, though, that I don't know. I don't know after that if they're both automatic. Banks attacks, and they're going to wave off the shot. White again. White to the hoop. It's short. Rebound controlled by Alexandria Castillo, who's come in. Lee leads everybody with 19. Gives it up to Twitty. Twitty attacks. Twitty can't get the bucket, but she's fouled. So both teams with the team foul here in the early going of this final quarter. Jasmine Twitty, 68% free throw shooter. Almost 14 points and 10 rebounds a game for her this season. Quiet offensive game for her. That's just her 3rd point. Twitty came into the match hot. She was averaging 19 points a game in February, shooting 58% from the field. She's had 7 double-doubles since January as Mitchell's long on the jumper. Chased down by Castillo. That's Jonah Castillo, I should clarify, as both Castillos are out there. Twitty. And Twitty getting too fancy with it. Twitty, I mentioned 7 double-doubles. That's since January 22nd. And she's got 11 double-doubles total this year. Just 4 points here today. Cleveland has really been carried by its defense and Carrie Lee on offense. Mitchell looking for a 3, and looks like Twitty took a shot there. Offensive foul called on the Trojans. Lee into the forecourt. Lee to the far side, guarded by White. Jonah Castillo top of the key. Here is Estella getting tied up with Bryant. And the jump ball possession arrow will keep it with Cleveland with just 7 on the shot clock. Grace East is going to come into the game. And East is coming in for Jonah Castillo. Castillo leaves with 8 points. East enters with 8 points. And up against the clock here with 5 seconds. They find the open Twitty for 3. Can't get the bounce. It deflects out to East. East is all alone and buries the triple. Grace East is in double figures now. Second player in the game in double figures with 11. Turnover here by the Trojans. East attacking now. East off the glass and in. 13 in the game for Grace East. He's done a nice job offensively off the bench today. Mitchell for 3. Answers right back. Barely touched nylon there. Mitchell with 7 now. Lee dribbling around trouble. Leaves it for Alexandria Castillo, who had her shot rejected. That was Sims. Was that Sims? It looks like a 22. So Sims with the block, 13 on the shot clock. They try to go backdoor, swing it out to East, and East scores 8 points off the bench, just like that. She has 16 now. Answering back down low. Fayetteville Tech gets another 2 to their total. Yetis break the little trap. Estella scoops it over to Twitty. East heat check time. Not that time. Rebound controlled by the Yetis. It's Jonah Castillo, and Cleveland calls for time. 6:33 left to go here in the game. We'll take time as well. That's me, Chris Shima. Glad to be back with you. If you're a Yetis fan, you can follow me there on social media. We'll have the highlights of today's game after this one's done. 6:30 left to go for the Yetis, who are about to book their trip to the semifinals. Cleveland will take on Bryan and Stratton when these final 6 minutes tick off the clock. Grace East has scored 8 points since coming back in, gives it up to Estella, and she swishes in a triple. She's in double figures now with 11. There's Mitchell on the right wing. Trouble on. That was really a spacing issue there for the Trojans. And it looked like White touched it out of bounds, but they're going to give it to Fayetteville anyways. I don't know. Could have gone out of bounds first. But the Trojans will have 15 on the shot clock. Banks with 7 points today. Twitty got in front. And is she going to be called for a foul here? She is. With 5 on the shot clock, it's the second team foul on Cleveland here in the final quarter. So a fresh 20 now for Fayetteville Tech as Mitchell will inbound. It's it into Banks from downtown. Twitty catches the miss. Throw ahead 2-on-1. Here is East. Waits for the perfect moment and found Estella for 2. Estella now with 13. Ooh, Mitchell got whacked. Mitchell, count the bucket. And she will get herself a tough earned and one. Nyla Mitchell with 9 points here today. Bennett comes back into the game. Banks will go out. Mitchell from the free throw line this season, just 55%. 14.4 points, 5.9 rebounds a game, and she does rim it in for her 10th point here today. Also 2 assists and 2 steals per game for Nyla Mitchell. East on the far side, nobody on the back door, and that's going to be another easy 2 as Estelle is just piling up the points. She now has 15 in the game. East with a couple of nice dimes to her down the stretch. And Mitchell had her shot blocked out of bounds. So Fayetteville Tech will have 16 on the shot clock when we come back. 4:59 to go in the game. It's a 30-point lead as Cleveland's on its way to the semifinals. Back to live action, and we got a tie-up with 4:55 left to go here in the game. Chris Sheeman, glad to be back with you. It's been a long day, but a good day. It looks like all top 4 seeds are going to advance here. As Fayetteville Tech gets an extra chance opportunity. There's the hustle girl of the game for the Trojans. White, she comes up empty though. And then we get a foul on a reach on Mitchell, who thought she had herself a tie-up, but the official says no. Grace East. And White, too strong off the glass. Offensive rebound, ball swung out. Bucket no good by Bennett. Another offensive rebound, but a travel there, as I believe that was Duncan, who really couldn't just gather herself and contorted herself out of bounds. So turnover gives it back to the Yetis. Yetis on their way to their 11th straight win in a row. That bucket goes in. So Grace East able to break the press. It's just been East really going down to Estella. Now Estella's up to 17 points, and most of that is coming down the stretch here, as it's just East pushing the tempo and getting dimes. It's as simple as that. So again, the trap is on here. Some subs are in. Ross has come in. Jumper no good by Twitty. I believe Alexandria Castillo is back in the game. This is Mitchell attacking, coming up empty. Duncan had it for a moment, gets it back, puts it up, can't score. How about Sims? Sims from point blank, no. And East turns on the Jets. She's got a 4-on-3 roughly, and she takes it herself. Grace East will go to the free throw line. Thomas comes back in for the Trojans. Fayetteville Tech, their season will come to a close at 12-13 on the year. They did pick up a Region 10 opening round victory over Brunswick. East now with 17, matching Estella. Lee leads everybody with 19, so those are the 3 players in double figures. Grace East came in with a low free throw percentage, but she's been on the mark here today. She's now got 18, second leading scorer in the game. It's a steal now by East. Her flip shot on the inbound, she took it away, and then we have another whistle. Well, these officials are going to make sure that we're here as long as humanly possible. They ain't letting anything go down the stretch. So East commits the foul. Now Bennett walks down as both teams are in the bonus. Yippee. Bennett 71% at the line this season. And that is her 3rd point here today. Make it 4 now. Barker will come in. And it looks like White will sit down with her 6 points for the Trojans. High pass goes to East in the front court. Castillo. Ross is scoreless. Ross and Alexandria Castillo, the only 2 who haven't scored who have played. Grace East looking for more. Way off on the 3. Mitchell the board. Mitchell, lone player in double figures for Fayetteville Tech with 10. Catch and shoot by Bennett. No good on the triple. And good positioning there, Alexandria Castillo. And she's going to have a chance to get into the books now at the free throw line. Estella will come in. Alexandria Castillo has not attempted a free throw this season, at least from the stats that we have. There were a few games that were missing, Coach Lawrence. But at least as far as we know, these are her first free throws of the year. And off the back iron. Got to just throw it off that square. Man, if you're not used to shooting free throws, just get it off that square. It'll go in. So off on both free throws. Oh, there's a player down now for the Yetis. And officials will stop play here. So we have an injury timeout. 2:29 left to go in the game. We'll step aside here, and we'll come right back. Oh, wait a minute. I think we're going to stay here. Sydney and Esty going to come back into the game. I'm not sure who was out there, so I don't know exactly who left. I believe it could have been Estella. Again, that's just speculation, but whatever it is, hopefully she'll be okay for tomorrow. This is a tough stretch. You got to win 3 to go to the national tournament. Another reach. Oh, man. All right, so it's Mitchell going back to the line. Mitchell now with 11 in the game. Ross to East, back to Ross. Ross will attack now. Ross blocked. So Yetis will have 11 on the shot clock. We've got 2:04 on the game clock here. Jonah Castillo inbound. East to Ross. Shoot that thing. 4-3 off the mark. Rebound by Sims. Mitchell with the fake. Mitchell And she's going to go back to the free throw line. Nia Mitchell is making a living at the charity stripe here down the stretch. Not making the most out of these opportunities, though, as she comes up empty here on the first try. So Mitchell now with a dozen. Costello in the backcourt. East into the forecourt. East pull up 3. Bennett's got another board. Minute 37 to go in the game. This one's been decided since about the midway point through that third quarter. Ross picks the pocket. Ross to East. East trying to get it back to her, and it's deflected off of Thomas, so it'll stay with the Yetis. Ross to East for 3, got another one. Grace East takes over the team lead and the game high with 21 points, 72-39. What a performance today from the Yetis, as they have really come out and made a statement here today. That's going to be a traveling violation on Mitchell, so Cleveland can run some more clock here. Ross and East playing hot potato. No need to exert yourself further. The Yetis rolling here today. We did have 2 ties in this game, and Esty buries a triple, and the bench loves it. 28 seconds left to go. Open look, and Thomas off the back iron, and that'll do it. Oh, Fayetteville Tech's not done playing basketball yet, as they get an extra couple of points to their total. And now the Yetis will run it out. 75-41, the Yetis have a date with the Region 10 defending champs. It's Cleveland Community College, the 3 seed, advancing to the semifinals. They'll take on Bryan and Stratton tomorrow, so that sets us up for what should be an entertaining day of basketball tomorrow starting at 2 p.m. It's the top seed Cape Fear and the 4 seed Southwest Virginia. And then the Yetis and Bobcats 20 minutes after that game's over, or at 4 p.m. in our second semifinal. That's going to do it for us here today. Thanks for hanging out with me all afternoon long. Folks, once again, your final today, Cleveland 75, Fayetteville Tech 41. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Take care until then.